All right, so welcome to both of you. Back to the Zoom room. Nice to see you again. So I think let's dive in to our quote for today. This is a very short, simple Scottish proverb, which we'll read, and then that's going to lead us into today's lesson from A Course in Miracles very nicely. It's all about the light. And really lovely lesson. It's one of my favorite lessons, actually. So we'll do that and do a meditation on the lesson. And that will probably take us to 9 o'clock. So let me. I've got a cat joining me. Hello. Do you like the energy then? So
Are
we
you
have
pet sitting?
company, animal company. Just going to share my screen with you. So Elaine, if you can read the quote, that would be lovely to kick it off for us. All right. So if you can read that headline quote for us, kindly.
A willing mind makes a light foot.
Scottish proverb, which is telling us that the lightness of being and doing comes from our willingness. We might ask ourselves, well, our willingness to do what? It's to allow the light with a capital L, or awareness, that's how we translate light in our alternative language, of the eternal infinite presence or awareness of love that we can call God, to fill your mind and completely guide all of your thoughts, emotions, words, actions, moment by moment. This is, you say, the living God, right? The living Christ, the living water of spirit. All these things are trying to help us understand that this is something that we feel and we live in our daily lives, moment by moment, not some distant off-planet God that we worship that is going to maybe favor us if we pray hard enough or punish us if we're sinful. It's a felt presence that affects deeply, completely, in fact, guides all of our thoughts, our emotions, our words, our perceptions, our actions in life from the inside out. And so then we are one with God. We are literally walking in this awareness, walking in this light or awareness throughout the day, every day. It's only this inner light that will help us walk with the lightness of foot to which the proverb refers. So we're talking about lightness of foot is feeling calm, feeling clear, feeling lighthearted, feeling happy, being in flow. Lightness of foot is another word for that would be flow. A lighthearted, carefree attitude to whatever it is you're doing in life, which happiness, peace, love, and flow are ever present in your awareness. Living in this state is living in the domain of the miraculous. This is what the Course is trying to train us to do. To live as miracle workers means you live in happiness, peace, love, and flow. You're light, you are carefree, and life itself, just moment by moment, has meaning and it has a richness and a fulfillment moment by moment. You don't need to look for your purpose somewhere out there in the future. It's right here, right now, every moment, and you're experiencing it. So in the New Testament, Yeshua advises his followers to temporarily remain, but not be of the world, right? Be in the world, but not of the world. And this is how he phrased it. So, Archie, if you can read that quote from Matthew, please. Matthew 6:34 it is. It's the verse.
So take therefore no thought for the morrow shall take thought for the things of itself. Sufficient unto the day is the evil thereof.
So, by sufficient unto the day is the evil thereof, it means that any problems we encounter should be faced when they arise rather than worrying about them in advance. Quite a old-fashioned way of saying that. But remember, this was all a translation. So he said it in Aramaic, which would have been and then it got translated into Greek and Latin, finally into English. So what he actually said in Aramaic, we don't know. This is the translation, old-fashioned. So the evil of the day is any problems, any difficulties, you can handle moment by moment. As they arise, instead of stressing about them in advance, just go, okay, so situations arisen. Okay, I'll handle it. I'll let it go. I'll ask for guidance. And then you become quite resourceful and resilient in life when you have that approach. If you constantly fearing, this could go wrong and this could go wrong, and your mind plays these tricks with you, then you're attracting that. More things are likely to go wrong, and you're not going to be particularly robust when things go wrong. Whereas if you just, I'm present, I'm flowing, so situations cropped up. It's not necessarily wrong, it just is what it is. Okay, well, I'll let it go. I'll ask for guidance. I'll flow through it. That's the light-hearted approach to life that he's advocating in today's workbook lesson, which we'll dive into just now. But first, just briefly talk about the bonus discussion meditation session I sent out today, which is all about how to allow love to extend through you. So we talked about grandeur versus grandiosity, about workbook lesson 71, which is about grievances. And we did that on Monday, didn't we? It was a very insightful session, I thought. Grandeur versus grandiosity. So Elaine, you missed it, but we did record it. And then this, in the expression, someone, Corin, expressed her difficulty with allowing the Holy Spirit or awareness of love to express through her due to past conditioning, a theme that was echoed by Sue. We discussed this in the light of the principles contained in the workbook lesson and the text reading for that day that I'd read in the meditation earlier. And I explained how the remembrance of perfect love in you can use whatever form of worldly activity you're engaged in. In Corin's case at the time, she was trying to get a business going, sales and marketing for a business that she was running. But the Spirit can use that to express and extend love through you into the world. That's what it wants to do. So it just uses the vehicle of whatever the form of that takes in your life. In this case, it was her business activities, and she's meeting potential clients and suppliers and whatever else, trying to make sales, but actually she's expressing and extending love if she's really doing her job. So in business, that might look miraculously like suddenly she has happier customers, she has increased sales, she has better business performance. Because here's the thing, people don't buy just a product, they buy energy. They buy a feeling that product or service gives them. That's what they're really buying. And if you are a single solo entrepreneur, as she was, then your energy becomes critical because they are literally buying a piece of your energy when they do business with you and when they buy a product or service from you. So that's why getting yourself spiritually functional, correct, in alignment with your source is so important, because people sense that and they resonate with that. And again, if you're out of alignment, the same way, it's off. People go, something's off here. I don't know what it is necessarily, but then they don't want to do business with you. So really, really, really important that you get your energy right, particularly if you run your own business, because you are the business. Your energy is so intertwined with the energy of the business. If you work in a big organization, then you're one of a collective. So it's not just your energy, there's many other people potentially. But so in some ways, being a solo entrepreneur is a very great spiritual practice, because it's going to show you any flaws, any difficulties, and it's going to show up in the performance of your business, which then is a direct reflection of what's going on inside of you. So business isn't doing well, don't have happy customers. Okay, what's going on in me that's creating that result? And then you can choose to let it go and correct it, or you can choose to blame the customers and say, oh, these customers are so ungrateful, or people's standards aren't realistic, or whatever the excuse is. But really, it's just a reflection of your own mind. So I talked about all that, and the real reason to express and extend love through you in the world is because it's not to get more money, more customers, because it helps you get out of your ego's comfort zone, let go of some more fear, and grow in your own understanding of and connection with love. So your business becomes your learning tool. All of your interactions with anyone in your business, customers, clients, employees, these are all holy encounters where you can express and extend love and deepen your own connection with love. And that's the only real purpose for anything we do in life. So if you see businesses that do this, they're unusual, but they thrive. Any business based on the principle of genuine love is going to thrive, because it creates an abundance mindset. It creates a different set of behaviors in their employees. And generally, love is going to be kind. It's going to be generous. It's going to be giving. It's going to give customers a good experience and a nice feeling of, oh, these people really care. They care about me beyond just selling a product or service to me and making money. It goes beyond transactional. There's a connection. There's a good feeling between us. And obviously, when that goes, then business generally stops. As soon as that gets severed, the trust is broken, then generally there's no interaction anymore. And that company and that person, the client, the business, and the customer aren't connected anymore, gets severed. And obviously that leads to then losing customers, losing revenue. So your business is a direct reflection of your state of mind. If you're an employee, if you're a single owner, if you're an employee of a bigger company, then it's a reflection of the collective consciousness of that whole business. We look at, let's quickly dive into the integral model. You see that over here. So as a solo entrepreneur, your own thoughts, emotions, memories, states of mind, perceptions, immediate sensations, all of that subjective I very much directly affects the objective nature of your business. So what's going on in your business? How's it all working? What's the output of it? What's the product? What's the service? How are people perceiving it? What's the experience? All of that is so intimately connected to yourself, what's going on in your mind, that this business then becomes a great barometer, a measurement tool to say, okay, how am I doing? Well, it's a reflection of my inner state of mind. So if it's not going so well, then I need to upgrade my inner state. I need to raise my frequency. So these lines, you look at them as lines of energy, like contour lines on a map. You go higher and higher each time into higher and higher awareness, and each one will then have corresponding effect in the external, the objective objective reality that is seemingly real, that then can be measured, experienced by your customers. There's also systems. If it's a bigger business, you need to, well, any business has to have systems. The bigger the business gets, the more it becomes systematized. So those systems become a reflection of the collective culture. So a big organization is not just one person, it's the whole collective culture. One person can certainly make a difference, particularly if they're in a leadership position. They can inspire all of this to change. But it requires the whole organization to be tapped in to right-minded thinking. And then that's, again, going to reflect in the patterns of behavior, which are systems that organization, that business implements. Okay, so a little review there of the integral model. Any questions on any of that so far? So we got an interesting session, definitely worth listening to. I've titled it "How to Be Truly Successful in Life," because true success is to live in this loving awareness, no matter what, and then let the results follow. Briefly talked about the parable of the dying king and his 4 wives, which we can go through. Do you, Elaine, you've probably heard of it, but Archie probably hasn't. I don't know if you watched the video. So it's quite an interesting parable, which maybe I'll play. So let me know if you can. I don't think there are any graphics. Skip that. So can you hear that?
No.
No.
Can't hear it. You see it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You can see it, not hear it.
No. But I guess
you
you
can
can
read
read subtitles.
All right. So interesting story. You read that. You couldn't hear it. I don't know why. I think YouTube blocks it, but you saw it. So it's a really good parable just to teach us about the way we cherish things that are illusory. You know, the body, material possessions, even special relationships. And none of that is going to go beyond into the afterlife. None of it is eternal. In other words, it's all temporary. So don't get too attached to it because it is all going to fade away and be gone, no matter how much you value it. All you really have is your own awareness, soul, you call it, but your own true awareness, which is immortal and eternal. And we tend to neglect that. So it's given to us freely. We just have it, so we don't even notice it. We just don't acknowledge it. We don't take care of it. And only when death comes upon us, then we're like, okay, well, actually, maybe it's quite important now. It becomes very relevant. So, any comments or questions on that parable? No?
No. Mm.
All right, so that leads us nicely into today's lesson. Let's dive into lesson. Where are we? We want lesson 73. We're on. That's 72. Let's see if I can find it for you. Maybe I closed it. Okay, never mind. We'll go into will there be light? Will there be light? Okay, so let's read it as we normally do in the original and the alternative. So who wants to read the original? Lane, you're okay with reading?
Yes, I will.
Reading the original?
Yeah. I will there be light.
I choose to be in and extend the state of pure, formless awareness.
So will there be light? Again, maybe that needs a little bit of interpretation. What is the light? I think that this is another word that a lot of spiritual students, spiritual aspirants, don't necessarily understand. What does the light actually mean? Are we talking about something that you can see, golden white light? You can have spiritual experiences where you do have light experiences, he calls them, but in the Course's teaching, it goes beyond that. It's really pointing us to the pure formless awareness. Will there be light? I choose to be in. Right? Will there be, is I choose to be in and extend. So a little bit of poetic license here. Will there be light? What does he mean? There's light internally, but there's also light typically shines and radiates out. Right? So choose to be in and extend the state of pure formless awareness is our alternative version of a light, which hopefully gives you a little bit more insight into what it really is. It's a state of mind that we call pure awareness, pure formless awareness. Okay, so let's just read a couple of slides. My friend Kat, so Elaine, if you can read that slide kindly for us.
The barrier of grievances is easily passed.
You missed the top.
Yeah, okay. Purpose, another attempt to reach the light in you, which will show you the real world. The barrier of grievances is easily passed. Salvation is for you, and above all else, you want the freedom to remember you really are. Today is the ego which stands powerless before your will. Grievances, forget the ego's arguments, which seek to prove all this is really heaven.
Yeah, so he's saying go beyond the cloud of grievances. That's been the theme over the last few days if you've been following the lessons. Go beyond all that, which are the clouds, and there's this inner light that the clouds of the grievances cover over. When you find that inner light, you find freedom. You find your true awareness beyond the grievances. So true awareness doesn't hold a grievance because it is pure, it is clear, it's free, it's connected to its source, and there's nothing to be upset about in that awareness. It just is what it is. It's naturally peaceful and loving, kind. Only the grievances of the ego cover that over. They're like the smoke screen. It covers over this brilliant inner light, as is quite well symbolized in the image. But you can pass by this barrier of grievances fairly easily by applying the lesson, just letting go of them, by just realizing they're not true, they're not real. That's really where it starts. All right, so let's go into paragraph 1 then. So Elaine, if you can read the original sentence by sentence, and Archie the alternative for us. Thanks.
Today we are considering the will you share with God.
Today I am considering the will I share with pure formless awareness of perfect love or abundance.
This is not the same as the ego's idle wishes, out of which darkness and nothingness arise.
This is not the same as the belief in separation's futile wishes, out of which negative or negative awareness and nothingness arise.
I'm impressed you remember that.
Yeah.
Very good. But if you say it negative, it does change its meaning, doesn't it?
Mm.
So, okay, it's negating the truth. That's what's called negative awareness. If you say it as negative, it just becomes a cliche.
Yeah.
Oh, negative. Yeah, negative thoughts. Yeah. What does that actually mean? Just changing the pronunciation. There's another word that works really well for it in the course, which can you get any of that? Here's a little test. Which is the other one that changes when you pronounce it differently?
At-one-ment.
Exactly. Yeah. Well done. So when you say at-one-ment as opposed to atonement, it changes your understanding of the word.
Yeah.
Very much so. Atonement is all about expiation of sin. You've sinned, but now you've got to atone for it. That's the conventional interpretation. As soon as you say at-one-ment, it's like, oh, okay, this is becoming at one with your source, because the oneness is missed in the pronunciation of atonement. That's not actually what it is. It's at-one-ment.
Yeah.
Rather than atonement. It's a mispronunciation. Although everyone conventionally pronounces it as atonement, it is actually the at-one-ment. That's where it comes from.
Yeah.
So these little pronunciation sometimes makes a difference as well to your understanding, which is why I'll mention it. Okay, let's carry on then to number 3.
The will you share with God has all the power of creation in it.
The awareness I share with pure formless awareness of perfect love or abundance has all the power of being in it.
The ego's idle wishes are unshared and therefore have no power at all.
The belief in separation's futile wishes are unshared and therefore have no power at all.
Its wishes are not idle in the sense that they can make a world of illusions in which your belief can be very strong.
Its wishes are not futile in the sense that they can make a world of illusions in which my belief can be very strong.
but they are idle indeed in terms of creation.
But they are indeed futile in terms of being.
They make nothing that is real.
They make nothing that is real.
And from the top, Archie, in the alternative.
Today I am considering the will I share with pure formless awareness of perfect love or abundance. This is not
Let's
the
change
same.
that to, let's pause that. I think let's change it to awareness. Or rather than will, yeah? Awareness I share with pure formless awareness of perfect love or abundance, because that's what it is. It's just your fundamental awareness. Will, I think, again, it can be confusing for people. Okay, so what does this mean? Will, that means my intention, my motivation. Is that my will? Is that God's will? God doesn't will for certain things in your life. Right? The pure awareness that you are simply directs and guides you to channel your mind in certain ways. So that's the interpretive function of the Holy Spirit. But this awareness doesn't want anything in form for you. It just is the pure awareness that then gets channeled and filtered through the true self and the Holy Spirit in your mind, which reinterpret all the information that they receive from the outside world, and then it helps you make different choices. That's how it works. So it's really just a fundamental awareness. Okay, I'm going to carry on with number 2.
This is not the same as the belief in separations, futile wishes, out of which negative awareness and nothingness arise. The awareness I share with pure formless awareness of perfect love or abundance has all the power of being in it. The belief in separations, futile wishes, are unshared and therefore have no power at all. Its wishes are not futile in the sense that they can make a world of illusions in which my belief can be very strong. But they are indeed futile in terms of being. They make nothing that is real.
Yeah, so thoughts on that? What's he saying in that paragraph in a nutshell?
Yeah, I just see it as the awareness that I am, is the same as the pure formless awareness of perfect love. It's like they're just one and the same thing.
Yeah, and that realization is the ultimate truth. That realization, when you really get that, fully accept it without any vacillations, is enlightenment. It's as simple as that. I am one with the Father, as Jesus put it, and the Father is one with me. And the Pharisees and Sadducees call that blasphemy, but that's the simple truth of what it is. The blasphemy is that you're not one with your source. There's a ridiculous idea. Well, how can you not be the awareness that you are? It's a crazy idea. Well, then what gave you any awareness or life or existence at all? There must be a fundamental awareness that gives you life. How can you not be that awareness then? It's a crazy idea that you could be something other than that fundamental awareness that you are and you always have been, and that gives you any kind of existence whatsoever. That awareness we call God. You see the illogical stand of the ego. It's like, well, how can I be something else than that? How is it possible for anything else really to exist than that? The awareness, pure formless awareness itself, the life itself that you are, how can you not be that? And the more you think about that question, the more ridiculous the ego's arguments become. So, well, how can I not be that? It's a good point. How can I not be that? That is my fundamental awareness. That's what gives me any life. That's why I'm alive. That's why I have any kind of awareness, any kind of consciousness. That's why I seem to exist. It's because I have this fundamental property of awareness or being. You notice here in number 6, translated creation into being. Just a better, again, that's a small c. I don't know why they do that. That's a mistake in my view, because what they're talking about is top level, level one. Creation, the eternal God, so it needs to be capitalized. And creation, again, isn't necessarily that great a word because it implies that something has happened, something's been created. There was nothing and then it was created. In truth, that awareness just is. It's eternal. It was never not there. So it hasn't been created from nothing. You know, God created the heavens and the earth. That is a delusion. That's not true. Because then God, what you're saying there is God is not eternal. At some point, the heavens and the earth didn't exist, and now God created them. Okay, well then God knows about time. And there was a time when it wasn't all the same, and then it came and created something from scratch, created the heavens and the earth. That's not true. If heaven is eternal, then heaven has always been, and the earth being impermanent and not eternal simply isn't. It doesn't even exist. This is the correct non-dual interpretation of those biblical words. God created the heaven and the earth, and he brought all things into being. And actually, from the beginning, that was a lie. That was a flaw in the whole teaching. From the very beginning of Genesis in the Bible, there's an error. From the first few sentences of the Bible, fundamental errors start cropping up, like understanding what God is. And then, of course, the errors then just go through the whole book. You make the fundamental error, which is an assumption. God created the heavens and the earth. Well, how do you know he created the earth? Do you really know that for a fact, or are you just surmising that? You're just intuiting that because, well, something must have created it. So what could it be then? But this is where the non-dual teachers and teachings come in. The Gnostics, the mystics have questioned that and gone, but actually what created the earth then is not God, is the what the Gnostics call the demiurge. Calls it consciousness. The ego, consciousness, universal mind, the belief in separation, Satan, the demiurge. I should probably put that in next time. There's many names for it, but this is a false thought system that has now created a false reality, which simply isn't true. And our job is just to accept that, realize that only this oneness, only pure formless oneness, perfect love, can be true, and anything else is simply not true. Therefore, it doesn't even exist. And so you deny its existence. Once you deny it out of any existence in your mind, you must then return your mind to this perfect state of pure formless oneness, of perfect love, which is coming home, kingdom of heaven, the Son merging with the Father. You finally go back into that state which you always were in, you always have been in, but you just had this horrible delusion that you're not that, that's covering it over. Okay. Any questions on number one? Can we go to number two? All right, so if you switch it, actually, if you read the original, name the alternative sentence by sentence.
Idle wishes and grievances are partners or co-makers in picturing the world you see.
Idle wishes and grievances are partners or co-makers in picturing the world I perceive.
The wishes of the ego gave rise to it, and the ego's need for grievances, which are necessary to maintain it, peoples it with figures that seem to attack you. Sorry, let me
and
just
call for righteous judgment.
Yeah. Sorry, I just lost my thread there when that sentence.
Yeah, well, it's an unusual people's it. You think it's a noun, but he's actually using it as a verb.
Yes, let me just read that again. The wishes of the ego gave rise to it, and the ego's need for grievances, which are necessary to maintain it, peoples it with figures that seem to attack you and call for righteous judgment.
The wishes of my separate self give rise to it, and my separate self's need for grievances, which are necessary to maintain it, peoples it with figures that seem to attack me and call for righteous judgment.
These figures become the middlemen the ego employs to traffic in grievances.
These figures become the middleman my separate self employs to traffic in grievances.
They stand between your awareness and your brother's reality.
They stand between my true awareness and my companion's reality.
Beholding them, you do not know your brothers or yourself.
Perceiving them, I do not know my companions or myself. And on the top, futile wishes and grievances are partners or co-makers in picturing the world I perceive. The wishes of my separate self give rise to it, and my separate self's need for grievances, which are necessary to maintain it. Peoples it with figures that seem to attack me and call for righteous judgment. These figures become the middlemen my separate self employs to traffic in grievances. They stand between my true awareness and my companion's reality. Perceiving them, I do not know my companions or myself. Yeah, so it's just saying the futile wishes of the ego, the separate self. Grievances is its main attack, and that one in the middle. It's saying about the attack on the righteous judgments of the self, the separate self. These figures then become the middlemen to separate and employ and traffic these grievances. So
Which is a really good use of the word. Trafficking in the modern world is associated with the lowest forms of commerce, business, and human activity. Trafficking in arms, drugs, human slavery, the sex trade, all of that is associated with the word trafficking. So he uses the word very intentionally to really, in one word, just tell us exactly what the ego is up to. It's like a drug trafficker or someone trafficking in humans, kind of the lowest of the low. This is not a nice entity that's doing this, and it's using all these figures in our dream are the middlemen, right? Again, not a brilliant use of the words, because you kind of get this kind of image of a sort of very dirty business going on. The middleman trafficking in grievances. So in one sentence, he's really put the ego in its place, and it's highlighted what it is and what it does, and that's what he's got to do in order to help us to let it go. As long as you think it offers you something, and you continue to believe in it. But if you go, this is just the lowest of the low. This is like, the scum of the earth. People who traffic in drugs and arms, and they've lost their connection with the truth and who they really are. Because you couldn't do that if you knew who you are and you knew the harm that your actions are causing. So underneath that, they're still the Christ, but the way they're behaving is really dirty. It's not nice, and that's how he's portraying it. So, just a brilliant, in one word, he brings all of that into our minds. Just the word trafficking that brings all of that, because anyone who's been in the world knows about the trafficking in these various illegal trades that goes on. We all know about that. So he knows about that as well, even though he knows it's not real. So he's using that to really help us to see the ego correctly. And it's not in a good light, is it? At all. So some people, I've had one guy, when I introduced him to it, quite an old guy at that point in time. He was in his 70s, done a lot of spiritual practice. And he said, well, the course is just ego bashing. That's how he termed it. And I went, well, you can look at it that way, but he has to do that, because if he says that the ego has any value or any purpose, then you're still going to believe in it. and it is not true. It's not real, and it's going to hurt you. It's going to hurt others. So he has to get you to not believe in it, and he's going to use language, because that's all he has, is to use the power of words and language to evoke thoughts and emotions in our minds that are going to help us to see that truth and change our minds. And I think he overall he does a brilliant job, but that sentence is so evocative. Like in one sentence, he just puts the ego in its true light, and you can't come away from reading that and go, "Oh, that's horrible. No, this is not something I want," which is, of course, his intention.
Yeah, it's really like the ego is in the gutter, isn't it? It's like it's really like the ego is in the gutter.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, it's the lowest form of everything in the world. And trafficking, or if you're trafficking in any of these things I've mentioned, it's kind of the lowest form of commerce, of business, of human behavior. It's it's in the gutter. It really is. It's just horrible. And this goes on all the time. And people who dedicate their lives to this. But he's saying, see it for what it is. But brilliantly associating all of that really gutter activity with your life, saying, okay, but hang on, let's just take that analogy and associate it to your life, because what you are doing, the ego is doing in your life, is it's trafficking in these grievances. It's using all the figures in your dream to seemingly justify these grievances, traffic in grievances, and that's what keeps it going. And that's its game. This is not a nice entity. It would be like in inviting a drug smuggler or arms dealer or human trafficker into your life and saying, "Yeah, well, welcome in. Come into my life and do what you want." I mean, no one in their right mind would do that. You go, "Oh my God, this is not the kind of person you want to associate with, because it's going to affect you. It's going to affect your life." So just dissociate yourself from that, clean up, and let it go. That's what he's trying to help us do, very, very well. And that's exactly what the ego is up to all the time. It's trying to traffic in grievances and use all the figures that people the world for this traffic in grievances. And if you just think of it that way, okay, so I'm going out into a world where this is going on all the time. And I need to be really vigilant of this, because this is the ego's game. It's going to try and get me to buy into that game. Unless I'm vigilant, I'll buy into the game. Anytime I feel like a victim, anytime I hold any kind of grievance, anytime I feel unfairly treated, anytime I feel wounded, I feel a little bit angry or upset or frustrated, this is what it's doing. It's trafficking in grievances. And it is selling me its traffic. You understand? You then become a participant in this really low level trade by buying into it, by believing what it's telling you, and you literally buy the story and you buy into the grievances mentally and emotionally, and then it is like your dealer. It's like you're addicted to these grievances, and it's going to, okay, you want some more of them. There's another hit, and there's another one, and there's another one. And the ego loves it, but that's going to take its toll. As we know, any addiction has its price. So really brilliant use of words. And you just think of, like, let's say drugs. Just anyone who's dealing in drugs or smuggling drugs, it's like the lowest of the low. You're just causing so much misery and pain for that person. You're addicting them to a substance. You're removing any sense of worth or power that they have, reducing them to, I mean, they call them junkies, don't they? Just junk, human junk, just like lost all awareness and power and so on. So brilliant use of the word to evoke all of that. All right, and then just the last bit. They stand between my true awareness and my companion's reality. Perceiving them, I do not know my companions or myself. again, very profound. My true awareness. I'll put abundance there. So if you hold grievances, you can't be in an abundance state in mind, an abundance awareness, because you're going to see the problem, you're going to see the error, and you cut yourself off from that abundant awareness that says, actually, everything's fine, everything's okay. There's no problem, there's nothing to worry about. No, there's plenty to worry about. Grievances tell you there's always a problem, right? Always a problem, always a grievance to be held. But you got to see the game. It's all to deny this true awareness or abundance, which is your true reality with a capital R, and it's also your companion's reality. And so perceiving these grievances, I really don't know who I am, and I don't know who my companions are.
Yeah.
Either. I have no idea. I'm lost in a world of illusion, and it seems to be a very horrible world. It's not a nice world at all. But he's saying that world is a choice. You have a choice. You don't have to believe in this. You don't have to allow this dealer in grievances into your life. You can route it out. You can let it go.
Yeah, not engage. Yeah.
Yeah, just don't engage. If anyone is trying to, let's say they're trying to come off a drug addiction, they would need to let go of their relationship with their dealer, wouldn't they? That's the first thing that's got to go. Because as long as you have that relationship, then you're vulnerable. I've got some new stuff for you, it's really good. And you're communicating, it's tempting, but temptation's there. So in the same way, we've got to go cold turkey on the ego and say, no, no more grievances. I'm not buying it anymore.
Yeah.
The grievances, the idle wishes, futile wishes, idle wishes, grievances, no. This, by the way, is exactly what the Buddha taught 500 years before Jesus. So he taught about desire being the source of all suffering. But a form of that desire he called aversion, craving and aversion. So the craving is, I want something, I need something to be happy, but that creates some tremendous suffering because you have an expectation, the expectation is not met, and then the grievance arises. That's what he called aversion. Now I want something to be different than what it is.
Yeah.
So I have this aversion to what's happening. That's my grievance against it. So I'm in resistance. Aversion is resistance, is grievance. And so it doesn't even have to be against a person. You can have a grievance against life.
Yeah.
You can have a grievance against the weather. Oh, it's really, really terrible weather today. We have that all the time in the UK. Oh, the weather's terrible. It's been raining for days.
Yeah.
Grievance. It's a grievance. It's saying something's wrong. And so then that cuts me off from my own true abundant awareness, because apparently I'm now focusing my attention on what's wrong instead of saying, actually, everything's fine. It's just weather. It doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
Inside, everything's good. So you start noticing as you awaken how much of this traffic in grievances is going on in the world. And when you see it, it can be a bit shocking just to start. You go, my God, this whole world is running on grievances. Just this continuous traffic in grievances. Most people are so caught up in it that they don't even know that they're in it. They've forgotten who they are, and they just engage in this really destructive activity without knowing the consequences of what it's actually doing to themselves and to others. So he's having to wake us up here and say, look, wake up call. This is what's really going on. You need to see it for what it is. This is the lowest of the low form of activity. This is not something you want to be listening to as your guide in life. Would you listen to your drug dealer as your guide in life? Well, if you do, it's not going to be a good guide, is it? It's going to go down the wrong path.
Yeah.
And so very brilliantly in this paragraph, he's evoked all of that, understanding emotion, and go, yeah, okay. By the use of the word trafficking and middlemen and so on, it's just really not a nice energy. We all feel that intuitively. And we go, okay, enough. I need to get rid of this. And he's saying exactly what the Buddha said before him, that you need to let go of the idle wishes or the craving and the aversion or the grievances. These are partners or co-makers in picturing the world I perceive. So the world of the ego is made up of idle wishes, these futile wishes that get you nowhere, futile expectations that just set you up for the grievances. So the more you expect, you have these expectations, the more you're going to be disappointed when they're not met. And the more that then your grievances seem to be justified. But it was only your own futile wishes, your own. Maybe we should change that to desires. What do you think instead of wishes? Does that work better for you? Futile desires.
Yeah.
Grievances.
Yeah.
So is there anything that's looking for some kind of awakening outside of you, some kind of salvation outside of you? Oh, when I get the special relationship, when I get the new job, when I get more money, always in the future. It's a futile desire because you're hoping for a better state in the future. And then, of course, that sets up an expectation. The more you have that desire, the more likely you are to be disappointed when it doesn't happen. Have you noticed that? So the more the ego builds you up with false desire, the more likely you are to come crashing down, and then your disappointment is huge. I remember when I was, I had that attachment to obsession, really, becoming a champion squash player. Oh, it was brutal. It was so hard. So when I was positive, I was like, yeah, I'm going to do it. It's all good. But the price of that desire was so high, because when I actually had to go out and perform, and I'd play a match, and then I wouldn't necessarily perform well, or like maybe I wasn't performing that badly, but the fact is I just wasn't at that level. I couldn't do that. I was trying to perform at a level that I wasn't at. So the disappointment was huge. It was like this like deep, despair, disappointment, darkness. I remember just really feeling so down and low after a loss. And I'd have to like pick myself up and go, okay, I've got to believe again. I've got to get back on the train, right? Of futile desire. Believe again. Just pick yourself up. No, you can do it. You can. And it's just more trafficking and grievances and idle wishes and grievances, which I didn't realize at the time. Now I do. But it was very hard. It wasn't happiness, that's for sure. It was a roller coaster ride. Yes, when the desire was strong and I was like feeling positive, it felt quite good. But it was a very fragile goodness. It was a very fragile feeling, because that bubble could be pricked very easily. Just one bad result, and I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Like, I'm supposed to be a champion, and then I've just lost another match to some palooka who's not even got a world ranking. Like, what the hell? But all of it, I'm grateful for it, because all of it was mind training in all of this. It's experience that you have to have sometimes to understand experientially. Okay, this is what futile desires and grievances are, and this is what they do to you and your life. And it's not happiness, that's for sure. It's a very up and down. It's the roller coaster ride. When I think back, I'm like, I'm so glad I'm off that. Because it wasn't. I wasn't actually that happy. Happiness was always in the future. It was when I was going to get to the goal, the grand, impossible goal of being number one in the world. Then I could finally be happy. I mean, what a crazy thing to set yourself up for. Okay, you have to be the best in the world at a sport, which is quite competitive, very physical, in order to be happy. I mean, it's madness, really, when you look at it. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So, of course, I mean, what's the likelihood is you're going to fail, and then you're not going to be happy. But you set yourself up for that, because who created the condition for your happiness? That you had to be number one in the world to be happy. You did. It was only you who believed that story. No one else forced that upon you. So you just got to go, okay, this is. And honestly, when I got off it, and I finally went, okay, look, it's I got to be realistic. Yeah, it's not going to happen. I'm 28, 29, whenever I had my realization. It hasn't happened yet. It's not going to happen. I'm too old. You know what I mean? If it was 10 years younger, maybe I still had, 10 years to grow and improve, but I'm 28. I'm like, like my best years are behind me in terms of the sport. I could maybe go on for another 10 years, but I'm over my peak at 30. That's it. You've peaked physically, and then it's a downhill from there. Certainly in squash anyway. So, but it was such a relief when I actually went, okay, I just actually have to accept that. Yes, it seems to be a limitation, but what I was trying to do was take this unlimited awareness, and I was trying to do it in a physical way. I was trying to then accomplish the the extraordinary, the impossible in physical terms, and I failed because it was a level confusion that was actually going on. I was trying to take some kind of really, it was a cover over the miracle impulse of wanting to awaken to who I really was. That was what was going on. But the ego is very cunning. It covers that over very well and says, no, let me direct your attention elsewhere into the idle wishes and the grievances, because then you're not going to find who you are. You'll get sidetracked into another false idol belief in who you are, which is now going to be a champion squash player. That's going to be your next false self-concept, which it holds out to you. So just all I can do is now, in hindsight, be grateful for that training, because I've been through it. I know what it feels like. And I read these teachings and I go, okay, I get it. I understand what he's saying, because I've experienced it, and it's not a happy world. Yeah, so if you can read that slide, Archie, some of it's repeated from this paragraph, but some of it's new. So
yeah. Idle wishes and grievances are partners or co-makers in picturing the world you see. The wishes of the ego gave rise to it, and the ego's need for grievances, which are necessary to maintain it, peopled it with figures which seem to attack you and call for righteous judgment. The idle wishes of the ego to be above others gave rise to the world. A side effect of the idle wish was a sense of sinfulness or darkness. The ego's need for grievances maintains the world. The sense of sinfulness was so intense that we sought relief by projecting it outward. To project successfully, there was a need to see sin in the world, a need for enemies, and a need for grievances. We people the world with figures, make them attackers so we can hold grievances, i.e. be enraged victims, and thus maintain the world.
you see how the system works.
Yeah.
It sets you up for it. It keeps you engaged in this, and all of that perpetuates the idea that you are a separate self.
Yeah.
Separation is real. You're a separate self because you've got enemies, because they're treating you unfairly. Your grievances are real. Okay, then I must be a separate self. Only a separate self can hold grievances. A brilliant plan. I mean, it's evil genius what the ego's done to convince you that you are a separate self. Right?
Yeah.
So that's what you're up against. It's done all of this to convince you that it's true and real, but it's not. And the entire world is just designed to con you. It's a con job to convince you that this illusion of a reality, being a separate self, a body, subject to all of these unfortunate, slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, as Shakespeare put it in Hamlet, that all of these things are real, and therefore, yes, you are actually unfairly treated. You are a victim. The world is a dangerous place. You got to be careful. And this is your reality, and you can't ever rest in peace or happiness, because there's always danger. You're always under threat. Something's always out to get you. That's the sinfulness or the darkness that underlies the ego. So I quite like that image. There's an image of a businessman. He's winning. He's got the medal. He's got the briefcase. going through the tape. But underneath that is this sinfulness or darkness, because by being special and being better than my brothers, my companions, I'm saying that I'm separate and different from them, better than them, superior to them. Well, the downside of that is I feel sinful and guilty. So it's always tainted. If you buy into, even when you have the victory, like it's tainted by the underlying. Okay, well we're better, we're superior to the ones we've beaten.
Yeah.
And you see that in sport. Watch, we're coming up to the World Cup now, so you'll see it again. It plays out all the time in these tournaments. And it's a desire. Everyone wants to win. You want to be a winner. You want to, but only one side can win. Only one nation can feel really good about themselves for a bit. Doesn't last very long, for a few days. You're like, wow, we're top of the world. But actually, everyone has been a loser. So we're only better because someone else has lost, which isn't nice. There's not a oneness there. There's a we're special because you suck, basically.
Yeah.
And then you see, the ones that lose, the depression. I mean, the contrasting emotions.
Yeah.
In the stadium and on the pitch, and you watch the players. It's quite extraordinary. So they both played the same game. It's like, and just because of an interpretation of that result. Okay, so you hit the back of the net with the ball more times than we did. Actually, let's say it's football. What does that even mean? Maybe you just got a bit luckier, like sometimes it's just luck. But it doesn't matter, because we lost. You got more goals than us. You're better than us. And now we feel diminished and we feel really disappointed. And you can see I'm grown men in tears and they're crying. It's like despair written all over their faces. And then, cut away to the victors and they're like, yeah, party, party. We're still in the greatest. And it's like, it's pretty bonkers, really, when you really look at it. It's like, what is going on here? Yeah, like, seriously. But it happens repetitively. This is just what everyone buys into. In the whole world, we have these games that we invent to play, idle wishes and grievances, and then we have another game of that because we now have another tournament, and this is like the World Cup, so it's even more important. And then we play it all out again over a month or so. And in the end, only one team and one nation feels like winners, and everyone else feels like a loser. And then we do it all over again 4 years later.
I know, it's madness, isn't it?
When you really look at it, like from this lens, from a Course in Miracles awakened perspective, it's completely insane.
Yeah.
And then the whole world goes crazy about it, and is really emotionally invested in this. So we win, we feel really good, great, We lose, depression, what's going on? And to the point where, let's say some people commit suicide, or they engage in violence, or they abuse drugs, or they physical and abuse. I mean, it's terrible, because it is what it does to people's emotions, idle wishes and grievances.
Yeah.
And the football, then, whatever the game is, just becomes another vehicle for that traffic and grievances. So if you look at something like the World Cup from a spiritual point of view, you could say, well, this is just the egos trafficking in grievances. That's what's going on here.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like it. It seems to be a football tournament, but actually it's just another version of this ancient game that's going on. And you gotta rise above it. It doesn't mean you can't watch the football, but don't get involved in the trafficking and grievances.
Yeah.
Because it's not real.
Yeah.
It's all pointless. Your emotions shouldn't be dependent on anything outside of you. Like, why are we so emotionally invested in football hitting the back of a net? I mean, it's insanity. Really, like, seriously. So your whole day is going to be ruined because your team, which you identify with, scored less goals somewhere across the world than another team in a game. Like, what? Like, seriously. But this is what goes on. So look at it, when you watch what's going on. It's in June and July, and you watch all this and all the just see it from this awakened perspective and go, okay, I just got to smile. Really, it's actually quite bonkers. It's quite insane. But there is an aspect. So this is where the discernment comes in, because you can join with people as well. There's also a unity in, okay, together, but it's a unity, unfortunately, that's not all inclusive. So I'm united with my team and my country, but I'm not united with other people. They are now the enemy because we're against France or Germany or all these other people. So it's a kind of a false unity. Yes, we feel one, and you see people getting together and going into these big crowds, and it all feels good. And so there is a connection there, but it's fake because it's not all encompassing. It's only us versus them, us, England versus whoever the opposition happened to be. And everyone kind of buys into that. So really, if you look at it, it's the ego hijacking the truth. Yes, there's a unity there, but it's hijacked it and made it into a special form of unity, which is exclusive. And so then it's not the truth, it's a lie. And of course, then that lie disappoints you. You have unity, but it's not all-encompassing unity. Your team loses, the other team wins. Instead of going, well, I'm really happy for you, and I'm really so pleased that France or Germany or whoever it is, Brazil, won and we didn't, because great, you've had that win and it's great, and you're going to have a celebration party. I'm so happy for you. How many people don't do that? They're just like, oh, I'm just disappointed because you won, we lost. That means you're better than us. And then you get all this darkness, the sense of sinfulness and darkness arises, and the disappointments and the grievances. That's then the ego's trafficking in grievances. And it sets up these games so well, doesn't it? Look at how it has set up the world to do this.
Yeah.
So all of it is a setup to make us believe in this game and indulge in this trafficking in grievances. And only this kind of teaching awakens you from it. It goes, okay, I gotta really see it for what it is and not buy into it. Because only then can I be truly happy and peaceful and rise above it. Oh, maybe I can still watch the football, but I'm not really invested in it. It doesn't really matter. I could just enjoy the connection. Okay, so it's time out. So I can spend some time with friends and family. I can connect with them. It's a nice experience, but really the result doesn't actually matter.
Yeah.
And you can use it as a mind training exercise and just watch yourself and go, okay, so am I attached to this or not? Very, very interesting. Because if you find any negative reaction arising, then there's an attachment. Then there's an identification of yourself with that activity and with the team. With the, and then there's a national identity as well, because I'm French or I'm English or and so on. And that, of course, is again the ego, because you're not French or English or German or Spanish or whatever. You are the Son of God. You are pure awareness, which is the same as everyone else's awareness, right? That's the simple truth.
Yeah.
So you see how deep the game goes, and you see how the game gets played. I've used one example there of sporting activities because it's coming up, but it's happening all the time in the world and in human society. And you just have to be, what he's trying to train us to do here is to be really vigilant of that game, to say, okay, just watch, be really, really aware and vigilant, because if you don't, it's going to suck you in and you're going to end up playing the game. And the negative effects of trafficking grievances are, it's not good. You're not going to be happy. Giving away your happiness to your dealer in grievances. All right. So all good. Let's go on to number 3 then. Your will is lost to you in the strange bartering.
Should I read the original?
Yeah. Oh,
yeah, if you'd like to.
Yeah. Your will is lost to you in this strange bartering in which guilt is traded back and forth and grievances increase with each exchange.
Okay, and then Elaine, if you read the alternative.
Oh, right. My true awareness is lost to me in this strange bartering in which guilt is traded back and forth and grievance increase with each exchange.
Can such a world have been created by the will the Son of God shares with his Father?
Can such a world have been created by the awareness the extension of perfect love shares with its source?
Did God create disaster for his Son?
Did pure formless awareness of perfect love or abundance create disaster for its extension?
Creation is the will of both together.
Being is the awareness of both joined together.
Would God create a world that kills himself?
Would pure formless awareness of perfect love or abundance create a world that kills itself? And from the top.
And from the top.
My true awareness or abundance is lost to me in this strange bartering in which guilt is traded back and forth and grievances increase with each exchange. Can such a world have been created by the awareness the extension of perfect love shares with its source? Did pure formless awareness of perfect love or abundance create disaster for its extension? Being is the awareness of both joined together. Would pure formless awareness of perfect love or abundance create a world that kills itself?
Would it indeed?
Yeah.
Yeah, again, good question. So this is eternal life, pure awareness of love, abundance, or let's change that to life. You notice, Elaine, I'm putting in abundance now because this is going to be the new positioning of this. This God is true awareness, pure formless awareness, or abundance, and that this is going to teach people how to live a truly abundant life from the inside out. Not just abundance. So I want money or something outside of me to make me happy.
The full,
the internal, the abundance is
that's far more
pointing you within, and then it reflects outside. The miracles come from your internal abundance. But abundance is an interesting word because it cuts across the worlds. It has a spiritual. Most people would understand it as having something more than just material abundance. That there's, Jesus talked about the abundant life. Yeah, okay. Well, was he just talking about the physical and material? No, he wasn't. He was talking about the spirit and the gifts of the spirit and what's going on in your heart and in your mind. Kingdom of heaven is within, etc. Within his whole teachings, that's clear that it wasn't just about material wealth. But then it's not excluding that either. It's not saying you can't have abundance in this world. In fact, you should, if that's in your mind, if you're feeling abundance and you're in that state of mind, and that starts to create that reality in your world. But it's inside out, not outside in. That's the key thing. You're not saying I need the abundance outside of me to feel good. So I already feel good. I already have that internal abundance, and then that extends out, radiates out. So we're broadcasting that signal out, and then it creates that. And circumstances and people and things happen, miracles happen, synchronicities, as Colby and Gordon, or miracles, the Course calls, start happening. Kind of naturally, it flows from this internal abundance. So again, pure formless awareness of perfect love, that's a very spiritual translation of God. Abundance is another one which might work for other people. Okay, so actually what we're talking about is abundance itself. The very essence of abundance is God, is this awareness, is life, is love. You start to realize it's just terminology, it's just different signposts to the same thing. But maybe that signpost works better for some people, so then why not use it? Okay, so any other thoughts on that, on number 3?
That's clear.
Yeah. Good question at the end. Would pure formless awareness of perfect love or life itself create a world that kills itself? How can Eternal life itself. Put in the eternal there. Eternal life itself. How can that create a world that kills everything that comes into it?
Mm.
How is that possible? And this is what the mystics throughout history have asked. And the answer is, well, it can't.
Mm.
That's the only correct answer.
Mm.
It cannot do that. Therefore, this world cannot be real. That's the conclusion. This world is an illusion of a world made up by the opposite of eternal life itself, which we call the ego, the belief in separation that denies life and love in the eternal, and then must die as the punishment for its sin. How ridiculous. This is what Yeshua is trying to train us to see. What a ridiculous idea.
Mm.
That life itself could kill itself. How is that possible?
Mm.
It couldn't be life itself if it could create a world that kills itself.
Mm.
So the whole thing is ridiculous. It's insane. It doesn't make sense. And that's what he's getting us to see through these teachings. It doesn't make sense. It's crazy. It's insane. It's ridiculous. Let it go, in other words. Let it go. It has no true meaning or purpose. All right, so let's move on to number 4 then.
So it's today we will try once more to reach the world that is in accordance with your will.
Today I will try once more to reach the world that is in accordance with my true awareness.
The light is in it because it does not oppose the will of God.
True awareness is in it because it does not oppose pure formless awareness of perfect love or abundance.
It is not heaven, but the light of heaven shines on it.
It is not the ultimate state of pure formless awareness or abundance, but the awareness of this ultimate state is present in it.
Darkness has vanished.
Negative awareness has vanished.
The ego's idle wishes have been withdrawn.
I have let go of my separate self's futile wishes.
Yet the light that shines upon this world reflects your will, and so it must be in you that we will look for it.
Yet the pure formless awareness or abundance that underlies this world reflects my own true awareness, and so I must look for it within me.
And from the top.
Today I will try once more to reach the world that is in accordance with my true awareness or abundance. True awareness or abundance is in it because it does not oppose pure formless awareness of perfect love or abundance. It is not the ultimate state of pure formless awareness or abundance, but the awareness of this ultimate state is present in it. Negative awareness has vanished. I have let go of my separate self's futile wishes. Yet the pure formless awareness of abundance that underlies this world reflects my own true awareness or abundance, and so I must look for it within me.
Okay, thoughts on that? What's he saying in that paragraph in a summary?
Yeah, again, I just see it all as the same, that that I am true awareness or abundance, so it's just one and the same.
Yeah, and that's the whole point. He's saying that over and over and over again to us in all of these different ways, so that finally we accept it. We go, okay, I get it. It's one awareness. I am that awareness. There isn't really any separate self. That's the simple truth. Once I've fully accepted that, I've awakened. I've returned home to my true awareness. which I never really left because it's always been there, but I just believed in something else for a while. Thought I was something else. Thought I was a false self-concept that denied that. But to deny that is ridiculous. You see, what he's doing is he's building up a case against the ego and for the Holy Spirit.
Yeah.
For God against the ego, always. Juxtaposing them in a very skillful way. Getting us to let go of the ego because we realize it's ridiculous. It's insane. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't work. It's the lowest of the low. It's ugly. It's corrupt. It's, he gets us to look at it from all these different perspectives. Ultimately, so we are, this is not something I can entertain anymore. I have to let this go.
Yeah.
Which means, of course, I also let go of being human and having an identity as a separate person, a body, and coming here and incarnating. I have to let go of all that because that's all the denial of my true awareness or abundance. That's the truth of the matter. Realizing that is a process because it can be quite intense. The existential crisis that comes when you start realizing this can be very acute.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, this is actually the end of my life, what I conceive as my life as a human being in a world. This is what I got used to. It's familiar. Okay, it's it has its ups and downs, but okay, it's not all bad. My life hasn't been completely terrible. So I'll kind of I'll take that rather than this ephemeral pure formless awareness, which I don't really know, and I'm disconnected. It's all a bit woo-woo and a bit out there, and so I'll accept this limited life instead. And he's just saying that's a very bad choice. Because you will then suffer, you will die, when this pure formless awareness or abundance that you really yearn for, that because it's the truth, is always in you. It's crazy. Like it's there. It's not anywhere else. It's in your own mind, and yet you die unaware of it. How's it? How do you don't allow that anymore? To die not being aware of that true awareness of who you are is a failed life, isn't it? You didn't really get it. You have no idea who you are, and you've lived 80, 90 years.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Like, how could you not know who you are after 80 or 90 years of living? Surely you would have figured it out. But the sad truth is most people don't figure it out. They still don't know who they are. In fact, they're often even more lost. I think of my dad, just no idea, not a clue who he was, not a and then of course he loses his mind, with dementia, and then it's too late. Like, you needed to do that awakening work much, much earlier. A little bit sad, but then in the end, it's not the end because, he's going to have another go. Have another life, another body, you incarnate again, you go through it all again, man. Maybe you'll have learned something from this life. One would hope. I think ultimately you do, but some souls seem to learn very, very slowly. It doesn't happen quickly, right? There's lifetime after lifetime, the same patterns repeated over and over and over again. That's karma, lifetime after lifetime after lifetime. Denying who you are, denying pure formless awareness or abundance, instead believing in the ego, and you just keep doing that, and you keep recreating the same patterns every lifetime, over and over and over again. And that's the cycle of birth and death that all the Eastern teachings especially signifies, to tell us it's a trap. You get caught up just over and over, repeating the karmic cycle. It's a trap. This awareness or abundance is the way out. It's the only way out. There's no other way. God is the only way out of that very disappointing, ultimately despairing, destructive cycle of the human existence that we got caught up in. And that's what he's trying to get us to realize. There's only one way here. We have to listen to that awareness or that abundance, or it's a disaster, or it's pain and misery and suffering and death. So those are the choices. So once you understand the dichotomy of that, it shouldn't be hard to choose.
Mm.
Like, it's not that difficult to choose, surely. Even if it means giving up your separate self, surely that's the only, the logical thing to do. But it takes a bit of convincing, doesn't it?
Mm.
That's why it's got to train our minds. Okay, so God's plan. This is actually from lesson 70, but it's kind of relevant to this lesson. So let's read that slide. Elaine, if you can read that kindly.
Yeah. God's plan involves contacting the light within. Lesson 70, my salvation comes from me. Number 1, we come in contact with the blazing light of our holiness in meditation. This is the antidote to our guilt, our sense of sinfulness, the root of our problems.
So there's a spelling error there. I've just seen. Well, not a spelling error. It's just there is repeated when it shouldn't be. I'll fix that. Yeah, the root of our problems.
Yeah, and number 2, our problems either disappear, become inconsequential, or are experienced as having no power to hurt us. 3, we become truly helpful as God has planned for us to be. And God's plan for your salvation will work, and other plans will not. Workbook's first exercise is asking for guidance. What would you have me do? Where would you have me go? What would you have me say, and to whom?
So in this lesson, those were the questions we were told to ask. Okay, show me. What should I do? Where should I go? What should I say? Who should I meet? That's handing it over. That's being done through, rather than trying to direct yourself. Being open-minded, and that's when you invite the flow of life to come in. And then this is surrender. You're not directing it with your very limited ego anymore. It's your true awareness that's directing. Because if you ask these questions and you open, something arises always. There's an answer. It comes in some way. Have you noticed?
Yeah.
There's always a guidance in some way. Maybe you get a thought and you go, okay, well that feels right. That's a good idea. Or comes in another form. Someone says something to you and you go, oh, I didn't think of that. Okay, that could work. Or you see an ad, you get an email, you get a text message, it can come in many, many ways. And then you go, oh, okay, so that could work. All right. And when you need it, the guidance is always there. You've just got to get into the habit of asking. Okay, so I don't know anymore. What should I do? So whenever it seems life's tricky and there's a situation you're not sure what to do, go, okay, well, show me. What should I do? Where should I go? This trip has been like, where should I go? I don't know exactly. I'm just going to go with the flow. Go, where am I going to sleep tonight? I don't know. Who should I meet? What would you have me say? Yesterday I had that important meeting. I was like, okay, I'm handing it over. I don't know exactly what to say. I could try and rehearse it and script it, but actually that's not the way. Just be spontaneous. Let the Holy Spirit direct it all. And if you give it over, as Jesus said to his disciples, don't worry when you go out, and I've sent you out to teach these teachings, to preach the word. Don't worry what you're going to say, because the Holy Spirit will be there and it's going to tell you what to say. And it's going to tell you where to go and who to stay with, and it's going to feed you and it's going to clothe you, and just trust. That was his advice. So exactly this, this would be called the Holy Spirit, I guess. This presence that is going to give you all these answers, but you have to ask for the help. That's the key thing. It doesn't do it unless you ask.
Yeah.
If you go, no, I'm in charge, I don't need to ask, I've got it sorted, then there's no openness to it. So this is quite a big lesson, really. This only God's plan for salvation will work. and no other plans will work. That's the caveat to it.
Yeah.
So there are two parts to the only God's plan. Only this pure awareness that you are is going to work, and no other awareness and no other plan coming from the supposedly other awareness of the ego is going to work. Other plans will not.
Yeah.
And I think at this stage, as you get older, you're both in your 60s, I'm in my 50s. You sort of start having to realize that, don't you? It's like nothing else is going to work. I've tried it all,
Yeah.
been there, done that,
Yeah.
and it hasn't worked. So is it likely to work in the next 10 or 20 or 30 years when I've tried for 60 years and it hasn't worked?
Mm.
If I'm honest, no. This is a losing game I'm playing, trying to win in the ego. So maybe I need to change the game, which is exactly what he's suggesting we do. And just start listening to God's plan. And that's quite easy because you don't have to now plan. You don't have to work it all out. You just go, okay, well, show me that. Moment by moment. Like I don't have to have any other plan than that. What could be easier, really?
Yeah. Well, it's a bit like, Abraham Hicks when they say, ask and it is given.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. However you want to phrase it. Yeah. Ask and you receive. Ask and you'll receive. Seek and you'll find. Knock and the door will be open. Again, that's a quote from the Bible. Jesus' teachings say, but you got to ask. Because if you don't, and you assume you know the answer, then you're in the ego and it's directing things.
Yeah.
So you have to, this is the surrender, this is the humility to say, okay, I don't really know actually where I should go and what I should do, what I should say. Because actually my thought system hasn't worked. It's been a dismal failure if I'm honest. So I don't really know anything. And I might be 50, 60, 70 years old, but actually I'm clueless. I don't really know. That's exactly the state where you're open to guidance. That's the state the Holy Spirit wants to bring you to. So sometimes that means you have to be really humbled. Everything you valued is to be seemingly taken away, destroyed. You get the breakdown before you get the breakthrough of surrender. That happens so often. It's really the only way. Fortunately, if your ego is in charge and it always works, well, why would you not listen to it? It has to fail you in order for you to question it. So you need the adversities. You need that to start questioning it and saying, okay, well, it evidently isn't working. So what's the deal? What's going wrong here? You have to fail in order to awaken. It's as simple as that. I just don't think there's any other way. There has to be some difficulty, some adversity in order to awaken. Even the great spiritual masters like Yeshua, the Buddha, they had their difficulties. It wasn't all fun and games and easy, but that was an essential part of their journey, of their awakening. They had to face and confront those difficulties. The temptation of Christ went into the desert, 40 days of fasting, and then the devil, being the ego, comes to tempt him and say, you can turn the stones into bread. So that's the physical, saying, I've got to let that temptation go, and then the temptation to power. You're going to control the kingdoms of the world. It's like, no, I'm going to let that temptation go as well. I'm just going to humble myself and surrender to God, to this true awareness. So this is humility and surrender of our separate self and the ego, which is conceptually simple, but practically it's quite a job. It's not the easiest thing to do. Which is why we practice. Practice makes perfect. All right, so let's move on to number 5, your picture of the world.
Am I reading the original? I can't remember now.
Who read the last one? Was it
I
you
did.
or
I did.
you did the
Yes.
original? Yeah. So then switch it.
Yeah.
You read the original.
So your picture of the world can only mirror what is within.
My picture of the world can only mirror what is within.
The source of neither light nor darkness can be found without.
the source of neither pure formless awareness or abundance, nor limited awareness, can be found outside me.
Grievances darken your mind, and you look out on a darkened world.
Grievances limit my mind, and then I perceive a limited world.
Forgiveness lifts the darkness, reasserts your will, and lets you look upon a world of light.
Letting go lifts the veil of a limited awareness, reasserts my true awareness, and lets me perceive a world infused by pure formless awareness or abundance.
We have repeatedly emphasized that the barrier of grievances is easily passed and cannot stand between you and your salvation.
I can, I just need that little thing.
Oh,
I can-
there you go. Easily.
I can easily transcend the barrier of my grievances, which cannot stand between me and my freedom.
The reason is very simple.
The reason is very simple.
Do you really want to be in hell?
Do you really want to be a victim?
Do you really want to weep and suffer and die?
Do I really want to weep, suffer, and die? From the top, my picture of the world can only mirror what is within. The source of neither pure formless awareness or abundance, nor limited awareness can be found outside me. Grievances limit my mind, and then I perceive a limited world. Letting go lifts the veil of limited awareness, reasserts my true awareness or abundance, and lets me perceive a world infused by pure formless awareness or abundance. I can easily transcend the barrier of my grievances, which cannot stand between me and my freedom. The reason is very simple. Do I really want to live a helpless, innovated little life of victimhood and suffering? Do I really want to weep, suffer, and die? Well, says it all.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
Well, it's a brilliant use of questions. He asked us to ask these questions. Do you really want this? Do you really want to be a victim? Do you really want to live this in this helpless, innovated little life? And you feel like a victim and life is hard and you ultimately you're going to suffer and you're going to die? Is that really what you want?
No,
When
thank
puts it
you.
like that, you're like, well, no. It's like, okay, well, then you need to listen to me, right?
Yeah.
You need to stop identifying with your ego, because when you identify with your ego, that's exactly what you're choosing. A helpless, innovated little life of victimhood and suffering, and you're going to weep, and you're going to suffer, and you're going to die, and you're going to do it over and over and over and over again until you decide to change your mind. It's very simple. So you want to keep doing that? Well, go ahead, but it's not going to be a happy life. You are going to weep, suffer, and die, and that's what the ego script is. With some little pleasantries in between, it gives you a bit of pleasure, have various other experiences. But in the end, it doesn't end well. It doesn't end well. Like I've seen it with my dad. Does not end well. That path does not end well at all. Because he denied his truth, he denied spirit, and it's like, well, in the end, it all just falls apart. Your body, your mind's gone, your body's gone. It's just a really limited life and existence, and barely functional. And then eventually you die, and that's how it ends. So what was all the pompous grandiosity, all the ego? Where did all that get you? Nowhere. That's what brought you to suffering and death. So we're all going to die. The body's going to go. But in what state of mind do you die? That's the question.
Yeah.
Do you die in a helpless, innovated little state? Or do you die as an awakened, expanded, grateful, loving person who's lived a life where you've discovered who you are? That's the question. Okay, so how are we doing? It is 9 o'clock.
Yes.
So I
Yeah.
know you said
How much more have we got, Jonathan?
I'll tell you now. So 6, 7, then we're into the exercises 8, and then we'll go into the exercise on 9. So there's 3 more paragraphs, and then an exercise, which would be a meditation. So a bit to go. We can probably get through this in about half an hour to say 45 minutes, including the meditation. Is that too long?
It is for me, actually, Jonathan. Would you mind if I left? Elaine, are you happy to stay, or
Yeah, I mean, how about if we just shorten it rather than, just swiftly go on with the alternative?
Yeah, could just read the alternative. That'll quicken it up a bit, save a bit of time. I'm open to that suggestion. But if you need to go at 9, then now's
Yeah.
the time. 'Cause it's
yeah? Well, I do
almost
need
9.
to go, Jonathan.
Yeah.
So
All right.
yeah. So I've got
Okay.
to-
So thanks for joining.
yeah. Thank you.
Go well for the rest of the week, and I will see you.
Yeah,
Next
we haven't
week.
arranged any times for next week, have we?
No.
No.
No. So let me know. Let me know what the
Yeah.
schedule is and stuff, and we'll
Yes. Yeah.
communicate on text and work it out. So maybe Monday, Tuesday. I don't know what my plans are yet. It's all very, but
Yeah.
whatever. I'll adapt wherever I am. I'll have internet and
Yeah.
I'll be able to do it. So
Yeah.
yeah.
No, that's good. No, thank you, Jonathan, and nice to see
All
you,
right.
Elaine, as well.
Yeah, you too. Yes, yeah. See you next week.
Yes. Good night. Bye.
Good night.
Okay.
Good night.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
So much.
Bye,
Namaste.
Archie.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay. So should we carry on for a bit, Elaine? You happy with that?
Yeah, because I'm getting tired now also. So if we just do the alternative, if that's okay.
That is okay. Yeah. So read number 6 then. And the
Yeah.
alternative.
I must forget my separate self's arguments, which seek to prove all this is really a state of pure formal awareness or abundance. I know it is not so. I cannot want this for myself. There is a point beyond which illusions cannot go. Suffering is not happiness, and it is happiness I really want. Such is my awareness in truth or abundance, and so freedom lies in my true awareness as well. I want to succeed in what I'm trying to do today. I undertake with my blessing in glad agreement. So it's giving us pointers to get to this true awareness where there's light and blessings and a far different, well, it's completely the opposite to the illusion.
Yeah, exactly.
Suffering.
There's a point beyond which illusions cannot go. And so when he's saying is there's a tolerance for pain that is not unlimited. And then when you suffer enough, then you can't believe in the illusions anymore. At some point, everyone is going to question those illusions and say, okay, it's just not working. So how can I continue to believe in this? That there must be another way.
Yeah.
There must be another way, because it can't all be pain and misery and suffering. There's something in us that knows that there's something else. There's a transcendent awareness. And eventually life will bring us to our knees, humble us, to awaken us to that. When everything else goes wrong, when everything you've tried with your ego has failed you, then you reach the point where beyond which illusions cannot go. And you realize this is actually just all suffering. It's all just a version of suffering. Maybe the suffering's a little bit more intense sometimes, maybe it's a milder suffering, but it's all suffering. It's not happiness, and it's happiness or abundance that I really want.
Yeah, well, it's just a bit unpredictable, isn't it? It's a mixed bag, isn't it? You have a moment of joy or whatever you want to call it, and then the next it's dashed and it's just yo. Yeah.
And the part of us goes, there must be something, surely this can't be reality. Surely this can't be it.
Well, that's right. Yes, it's
Ultimate truth, ultimate reality. It can't be so variable and so unpredictable and so miserable.
It's just not
Or
reliable at all. No.
yeah. So something in us knows the truth that this then cannot be real,
Mm.
and that remembrance is the Holy Spirit. You're remembering the truth beyond the illusion. You're remembering, yes, there is another self, there is another awareness beyond these illusions. And
Yeah.
I can choose that. I have the power still to choose that, even within the depths of my darkness, my illusion. I can start making other choices, different choices.
Yeah. Mm.
And that's
Yeah.
exactly what he's asking us to do. And he's got to convince us. The reason why the text and the workbook go on and on and on is because he's got to do a massive convincing job of minds, because we got so invested in the ego that he's now got to persuade us that what we thought was true reality, this is and who you are, this is your identity, all of that is nonsense. The whole thing's a lie.
Mm. Yeah.
And get us to willingly let it go, because we realize the cost of that belief system. Yeah, this cannot be forced on anyone. That's why religious dogma, any dogma, doesn't work. Or just believe and have faith, because otherwise you're going to be punished by God, or you're going to be excommunicated from the church or the religion or the cult or whatever it is. None of that works. It has to be your own awakening. It has to be, you've understood it and you've made the decision based on your understanding that this is the only way. There is really no other way. This is the only option. Same option available to you. And you're not going to choose insanity, because that's evidently insane. It's going to be painful. So there really is no other choice than this path. That's what he wants to bring us to that awareness through this mind training. All right, so let's go on to number 7 then.
I will succeed today if I remember that I want freedom for myself. I want to accept perfect love's plan because I share in it. I have no awareness that can really oppose it. I do not want to do so. Awakening to freedom is for me. Above all else, I want the freedom to remember who I really am. Today it is the belief in separation and my separate self that stand powerless before my pure formless awareness or abundance. My true awareness is free and nothing can prevail against it. So yeah, it's just getting more clearer and clearer, moving from this awful separate self into this freedom of abundance, and yeah, just letting us, pointing us to this true awareness and the freedom in it. So yeah.
Does the translation, if I'm putting in abundance now, does that make a difference for you? Do you find that helpful?
Oh yes, yeah, no, it's a good pointer. It is, yes. It's
just another alternative. It's awareness, but it's also abundance. It's abundance itself. It's in you, and so if abundance works for you better than awareness or pure formless awareness, then use it. It's a pointer to the same thing.
I like both, actually. I rather both of them. They're both good words to point you in that.
Yeah, exactly.
That realization. Mm-hmm.
Which is why I'm doing it. I thought of putting it into another paragraph, but I'm like, that's too much. Too many paragraphs. So it's just got to go in as an or abundance, which then just highlights, this is what an abundance mindset is about. This awareness is abundance. You want abundance in your life, you have to go into this awareness, accept it. It's as simple as that. God is abundance itself. Another name for God is abundance. And because it's opposite of separation and scarcity. Separation equals scarcity, abundance equals oneness equals abundance.
Mm-hmm.
So they're just different words for the same awareness or reality. Okay, so number 8 then.
Therefore,
I undertake.
Mhm. Therefore, I undertake the exercises for today in happy confidence, certain that I will find what is in my pure formless awareness or abundance, to find and remember what is in my pure formless awareness or abundance, to remember. No futile wishes can delay or deceive me with an illusion of strength. Today, I let my pure formless awareness of abundance be established and end forever the insane belief that I choose to live a helpless, innovated little life in place of the state of pure formless awareness or abundance. Yeah, so it's just getting more and more close to this abundance and the pure awareness. And if you come from that state, then there's no need to follow the illusion. The strength is in this.
Mm.
You don't need to believe in all the insane beliefs in this helpless, innovated little life that we get ourselves into.
Yeah, helps us to escape from the identification with that. You know, the body goes on, circumstances of your life go on. I mean, they can certainly change, but you're still in a body. You're still dealing with so-called reality of this world, but you don't identify with it anymore. That's the key.
Yeah.
You don't believe that you are that little self who is a victim, who suffers, who's going to die. You don't identify yourself as that anymore, because that identification
Is
is the
the
problem.
it's yeah, very much. Mm-hmm.
So the body goes on, the body's still going to die. You still have the so-called problems of the body that carry on in the world, but none of it really affects you because you realize that none of it's true.
You just don't identify with it.
Don't
Yeah.
buy into it. You know, I'm not identified with the identity of being a victim
Yeah.
who's living this helpless, innovative little life. So if I don't identify with it, then I interpret everything that happens to me differently. Okay, something supposedly bad happens. Okay, if I'm not a victim, then I don't interpret it that way. Just go, oh, well, okay,
The
stuff
lesson.
happens.
It's a lesson.
It's a lesson in letting go and helping me to let go of another aspect of my helpless, innovative little life of victimhood and suffering, which is a good thing, right? I want to let go of that. So
Yeah.
great, this is another opportunity to let go of that. Why would I want to identify with that? You know, so it's a very miserable identity. So all good. It's a lesson. This is the purpose of the world. It's to give me these lessons so that I can awaken from the dream of victimhood and suffering, which I have used to replace the state of pure formless awareness or abundance.
Yeah.
Okay, so any other thoughts on that? Otherwise, we can go into our practice.
Yeah.
Shall I guide you through this? In a meditation to end it, yeah?
Yeah, that'd be good, thank you.
Okay. All good?
Mm-hmm. Good lesson.
Yeah.
Well, they all are really.
Okay, very good lesson.
Yeah.
Okay, let's just stay right here. To go away. Okay, so is that opening? There we go. All right, so just making yourself comfortable. Sitting with your feet shoulder width apart, your back straight. Cup your hands in your lap. Close your eyes. Start off by taking a nice deep breath in through the nose. Clench the sphincter muscle to lock the energy in. Draw the energy up your spine to your heart center. Put one hand on your heart. Connecting with your heart space. Just draw the energy up the spine, the crown of your head. Feel that abundant energy in your mind, in your heart. And remind yourself that only perfect love's plan for awakening is wholly in alignment with my true awareness or abundance. It is not the purpose of an alien power thrust upon me unwillingly. It is the one purpose here in which I and my source are in perfect agreement. I will succeed today. The time appointed for the release and the extension of perfect love from a helpless, enervated little life, and all my futile desires. Say that to yourself. Say, my true awareness or abundance is now restored. To my awareness. I am willing today to experience the pure formless awareness or abundance in my mind and be awakened. And so just breathe in this idea, breathe this awareness, this abundance, this life energy into your heart, your mind, entire energy system. And this is awakening. So again, breathe in, nice deep inhale. Find yourself that you want to keep this awareness of abundance clearly in mind. Tell yourself with gentle firmness and quiet certainty. So repeat this couple of sentences after me. Your mind, let's say them. So I choose to be in and extend the state of pure, formless awareness or abundance. And so, I will experience the pure, formless awareness or abundance that reflects perfect love's awareness or abundance and mind. Say it again, I choose to be in and extend the state of pure, formless awareness or abundance. The original is, I will there be light. This is what it means, a state of pure awareness or abundance. And you're choosing it actively. Breathe in on that choice, feel this light, this awareness, this abundance flowing into every pore, every cell, every muscle of your body, every part of your mind, every fiber of your being. Feel that abundance in your mind and your heart. And let this true awareness, the light within you, which is abundance, joined with the power of perfect love, which is also abundant, and united with your true self, assert itself. Feel into this awareness. Feel the abundance of it. Just literally filling you up with its presence. And then let go and allow it to guide you through the rest of the meditation. Join with them as you let them lead the way. Let this awareness, this abundance, guide your thoughts, your words, your actions, always and in all ways. Feel into that abundance. You breathe in, feel an energy in your heart. You can put one hand in your heart center to connect with this feeling more deeply. Breathe into it, feel your heart opening and expanding. Smile. And I choose the light, my true awareness. I choose to be in and extend the state of pure formless awareness or abundance. So I choose to be in and extend the state of pure formless awareness or abundance. Say that to yourself. Breathe in on that. Feel that abundance awareness in your heart. It's entraining your whole body to this powerful, abundant frequency. And negative or limited awareness is not your awareness. Say that. Negative or limited awareness is not my awareness. Or abundance. I'm never going to find abundance in negative awareness. Source of abundance is true awareness. So just rest in this idea. Nowhere else to go. There's nothing else to do, nothing else to think about. Just breathe in out through your nose. Sense of breathing in this awareness, this abundance, this light. There's nowhere else to go. There's nothing else to do. Nothing else to think about. Just breathe, relax, and be still. Any thoughts come up that seem to contradict this abundant awareness? And just let them go. Nothingness they really are. There's nowhere else to go. There's nothing else to do. Just breathe, relax, be still, and sink into this abundant awareness. And feel the abundant life that is yours, abundant awareness that is yours in this deep silence. It's inherent in stillness and silence because they have no form. They are pure formless awareness, therefore unlimited. And stay in this really deep, connected state of awareness. So I choose to be in and extend a state of pure formless awareness or abundance. Negative or limited awareness is not my awareness or abundance. So allow yourself to experience this abundance. Abundant world, abundant life. And just acknowledging this awareness, this abundance, feel into it, say to yourself, I choose to be in it and extend this lock this frequency in, say, choose to be in and extend the state of pure formless awareness or abundance. Negative or limited awareness is not really my own. So on the count of 3 now, you're going to open your eyes. So 1, just breathing in. Noticing how the chest rises, the stomach rises, the subtle flow of air into the nostrils. Breathing in, noticing how the air flows into your nose. There's a subtle taste in your mouth. And breathing in, notice the breath, connect with your abundance. Say, I choose to be in this abundant state of pure formless awareness, abundance itself. And number two, just breathing out. Exhale out from your mouth or your nose, noticing how all these exhale out through the mouth. Exhale, notice how the air flows out, chest and stomach suck back in. Pull the lower stomach into the spine. Follow the last remaining air out. The exhale, notice the weight of your body. So notice at the bottom of the exhale, the weight of your body. Pressing down into the chair, your feet touching the ground. Notice how much you're feeling, touching. Maybe there's a subtle taste in your mouth, smell in your nose as you inhale. Anchor the state in. I want to stay in this energetic state. So it is said and so it is done. You are, say, as an affirmation, I choose to be in and extend the state of pure formless awareness or abundance. Negative or limited awareness is not my awareness or abundance. This awareness negates my true awareness, which is also abundance itself. And finally, on the count of three, you're going to open your eyes. Just look around for a minute. Just ground yourself back into this seeming reality world. But notice how your perception is different from 20 minutes ago when we started the meditation. Subtly but profoundly different. Notice this inner awareness or abundance underlies all your sense perceptions, and just choose to stay in that state. Choose to stay and to be in and extend the state of pure formless awareness, perfect love or abundance. Anchor the state in one more time. Say, I choose to be in and extend state of pure formless awareness or abundance. Negative or limited awareness is not my awareness or abundance. So it is. Amen. And that brings us to the end of the meditation. tonight's session. Thank you to Elaine and Archie for joining. If you enjoyed that, then why not hit that subscribe button. You'll be notified whenever I go live, which is 2 or 3 times a week. So you can catch the live stream or the recording later. If you want to take it further, go to lifebuild.com. You can see that in the background. Just type in lifebuild.com, or you can put the link in your browser in the chat box below. Chat box, the description box in YouTube, comments box. There is a link to that, and you can sign up to receive a daily Telegram message or messages which have an inspirational quote like the one we had, usually some commentary on it like a blog post. You're going to get other mind training material, some resources like other quotes potentially, or old recordings of live sessions like this, as well as the mind training lesson from A Course in Miracles as translated into alternative language, including a breath break, it's a short mini meditation to help you practice it, and invitations to join these live sessions 5 days a week. So a lot going on there. Join the Telegram group, and you can then get all this for free, and maybe hope to see you in one of these live sessions. So thank you for watching or listening. I hope you'll join a live session soon, or join the LifeBuild Inspirations group on Telegram. Go to lifebuild.com to do that. And thanks for listening and watching. Wishing you much love, peace, and joy. Namaste. Which means the truth in me acknowledges and honors that same abundant, wholly aware truth in you.